Hello, Utah County Dems. I'm Zachary Moses, and I'm running to be Utah's next governor. Look at me. I'm a fun-loving guy. I walk around, I never do up my top buttons on my shirt. Honestly, I feel like wearing a tie is a sign of oppression. Everything that I had growing up, I would do jobs. I would go and do these jobs, and my boss was always wearing a tie. And I would go in there and I would work really efficiently. I'd figure out how to do 8 hours of work in 2 hours. And then I had all this free time. And I always figured that somebody would come out and they'd say, "Good job, Zach, you're great." No, they'd fire you for that because you didn't do what the boss said. The boss was wearing his tie. The boss is looking like that businessman wearing his tie. And then he'd come in, and it didn't matter how efficient you were going. He was just the boss. So the thing is, I don't like just a boss. The person who leads an organization, whether that be government, whether that be private industry, not-for-profit, doesn't matter. The person who leads needs to be able to lead in a way that they're a good boss. They're a good boss. They're a likable person. That's the kind of person I am. I'm a capitalist. I am an entrepreneur. I do all kinds of things. I've got ideas for expanding our mass transit, bringing in hyperloop. We want a zone for a spaceport in the West Desert. I know that's not Utah County, but I mean, come on. How cool if you could take a hyperloop out into the West Desert and catch a SpaceX shuttle up to the moon. I know this sounds like a crazy timeline, but SpaceX is literally building rockets. They're on their 4th prototype for Starship. And this is planned to fly city to city within Earth. So you can get from Salt Lake City to Singapore in 30 minutes. How cool would that be? We don't even have to have the money for this. We just have to zone for it. Private industry is already doing this. The air pollution is horrible. You want to know why I'm running? Because I have asthma. I don't want my kid to be like me, all the pollution that I'm breathing along the Wasatch Front. And this is my son has to do this too. This is unacceptable. The fact that we've allowed this to get this far is it's a dereliction of duty from our politicians. And you know what else is a dereliction of duty? When we as the citizens get together and we make public propositions, and our legislature gets up and says, "Hey, don't bother voting on this. Your vote's not going to matter anyway. We're just going to overturn it." Things like that make guys like me want to run. Guys that look like the rest of Utah. My Lieutenant Governor, Nathan Kizerian. He's amazing. You guys will love him. Many of you already know him. He runs Utah Satire, the premier Facebook page for roasting dirty Utah politicians. Think about it. We're 2 regular guys. I've had a lot of achievements. Nate's had a lot of achievements. But we're just regular guys living regular lives who've decided that we've had enough of this political garbage. And if you want to talk about electable, I'll tell you about electable. Utah hasn't had a Democrat as the governor for almost 40 years. For almost 40 years, we've been putting up people that don't win. And they don't win because they can't get Republican votes. You know how you get Republican votes? You act like Republicans. You do things like wearing hats like this. Moses 2020, part the Red Sea. We don't mean part the Red Sea like, oh yeah, against Republicans. No. Having a one-party state is a dangerous thing. We can't have that. We need checks and balances. We can't have a runaway legislature that just does whatever it wants with no checks and balances. We need balance. And the easiest way to balance the state of Utah is to put a Democrat in. And the only way you're going to get a Democrat is if you get a Democrat who's not just electable within the Democrat Party, but a Democrat who's electable within the entire state of Utah. Go outside. Go to your bars. Go to your churches. Look at the people around you. Look at the beards that people wear. Look at the tattoos. Look at everything else. Look at the real Utah. And then ask yourself, if you really want to win this whole state, if you want to bring out all the unaffiliated voters, if you want to bring the young millennials in, how's the Democratic Party going to do that? And then how are we going to have a candidate that can stand up against Spencer Cox or against Jeff Birmingham or very likely against Ambassador Huntsman, who's previously been our governor? If you really want a democratic change, we need to have someone who can stand up against Ambassador Huntsman, someone else who is world traveled, someone else who can actually stand there and take it and can debate with him. I was a stand-up comic for a long time, and I learned how to debate Oh, I learned how to stand on that stage and I learned how to take it. If someone else was attacking me, I could stand my ground and I could bring them down. So if you want to beat the Republicans, I'm your guy. I'm Zachary Moses and I'm running to be Utah's next governor, and I hope that I have your support because we can really win this together.